and Boggs.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Your Future Hand. My name is Marty Boggs, and I'm just going to give you a little update about what I think is going to happen with the Bitcoin price today. I know normally Julian is our update guy, but I just wanted to give you my opinion for once here. We'll see who's who's right. Maybe we're thinking the same thing. I don't know, but we'll see. So what we're looking at right now is the Bitcoin chart. We have the 4-hour candles selected, and this is what I think is going to happen here. So we've seen quite a bit of downward price action in the last little while. Then we have a very big wick right here. I mean, with good support, and look, we got a lot of volume coming in right here too. And so now we're starting to see this. And what a lot of people think is, oh, that's the bottom. Now we're going back up to the moon. And there's a green dot. I'm using my Market Cipher. Great indicator. I highly recommend it. But that's on the 4-hour, a green dot. That's a pretty good sign that we are going up. But however, look at this line that I have here. This is just a little bit of an average trend line that I have drawn to show you guys where I think we are going to go. And look at this other trend line I have is a massive trend line that I have on the entire chart here, all the way up from the top back at 69K when we hit that top. So that's our trend line coming down right here. If we hit it there, and basically if I tighten this up a little bit, you'll see. So we come down, we go up. You know how everything works. So it looks like we're doing a very similar thing right here, right? I would like to see us strongly break this line of resistance before anything happens. Now, a lot of people had this line. Actually, let me go. Now, a lot of people had this line as the trend line. 1, 2, 3. And so we've got 1 point there, 1 point there, 1 point there. We had a breakout and a retest, a couple different retests, but then we've broken back below that line again, and now we're going back up. So I think that invalidates this line personally. So I had that on there before. I was paying attention to it. I saw the breakout. I thought it was looking good. But when I zoomed out, it looked to me like we still had a bunch of room to go down. So got rid of that line, and now I've drawn this line. And normally you're looking for 3 touch points to validate a line, or at least to have, a little bit of accuracy with it. But I'm doing a little bit of future prediction here because that's what we want to know. Where are we going? What do we think? Well, if we collectively think together, we can achieve more. So I've only got 2 touch points on this line here, but I strongly believe that we are going to come back up, and there's probably going to make another touch right around 45. Okay, and now that depends on how fast we retrace here. So if we come down and we retrace directly straight up, it has the chance of coming all the way up to maybe 45.8, 45.6, something like that. But as it gets longer, it could come anywhere down. It could come all the way down. If it just went sideways from here, we could come all the way to 43. We could go straight sideways until we hit it. So there was a bit of news the Fed released, I believe, either yesterday or today about regulations with crypto and capital gains income and that sort of thing. And so it's funny how when that sort of news comes out, we see a little bit of a pull here. So my guess would be that the funny thing is they said they had a meeting, they've come up with something, but they're going to talk about, or they're going to release it in the coming weeks is what they've said. So what that means to me is that they know what's going to happen. They're probably buying, and then they're going to tell you what's going to happen, and then they're probably going to sell. Because you can't get away from it, people. Everything is manipulated. People are douchebags. It's just the way it is. It's a cutthroat place that we live in, unfortunately. And right now, we're very early in the Bitcoin stage, and we're seeing already that the volatility is decreasing. However, I mean, if you're new to Bitcoin, this looks crazy, but this is nowhere near as crazy as far as percentage-wise goes as it was in the beginning. And every bull run and or bear market seems to get a little bit more stable as we go. And eventually, I believe it will go up to about, 100K, 500K, who knows? Could go much higher, depends on the US dollar value. Remember, everything is related to the US dollar. And when things are going crazy, it's not necessarily all the other things, it's the US dollar, the thing that everything's being compared to. Okay, so again, just to recap, I do believe we are going to see some positive price action here in the near future, but do not get too heavily invested. Remember, dollar cost averaging is key. Put in a little bit here, 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 and continue to do the process until we see a clear trend reversal. Look at this. Like, this sort of thing here looks nice, but this sort of thing happens all the time, where you think, look, like this one was a big one. Everybody thought it was going to go up right here. That's why we saw a huge dip, because there was so much leverage in the market. And as soon as those orders got liquidated, triggered one, triggered another, trigger, boom, and so many people got liquidated. That's why it came all the way down to here, caught all these buy orders that people had set, ready to go, pumped back up, and then started to consolidate basically straight for about 2 months here, because that was a huge shock to the market. Not surprised to see this after that. Okay, a lot of people did not know what's going on. And now we're in fear, and the fear is in, I didn't check it this morning, but it was around, it was in single digits or low teens last time I looked at it. And that's very, very low. So there is a good chance that we could break out of this. But I personally think that we're probably going to hit right around here and get a very similar, because this is, this is still, what do we got here? That's still, we're still at least a week away, maybe, it says 2 days, but depending on how high up we go or how sideways we go, we've still got a couple more days for confirmation of this breakout. So personally, I wouldn't get too invested just this minute. Of course, we always want to be in the market because it could take a turn, and we want to make sure that we have money in when it takes a turn. But just in case it doesn't, we're only dollar cost averaging in. For instance, if you don't understand what that means, even if you bought the top right here, you put $20 in, you put $20 in here. Of course, always try and buy the dips. Whenever I see stuff like this, that's when I'm buying. I do not buy after I see green candles. I used to buy when I first started in crypto in 2017 or 2016 or whatever it was. I used to be like, oh yeah, we're going up. Buy things at the top because it looks great. But, obviously that's something that you need to overcome. If you're new, it's not that hard once you watch your money devalue or whatever very quickly because you bought the top. So let's not get scared. Let's continue to pay attention, continue to dollar cost average in 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, whatever you can afford. And eventually it will turn around because we know this. The reason why this is happening right now too is also because this run up that we saw in 2021 was crazy. People were talking to me, sending messages out like when they see this thing, they're like, oh, what is this? I'm like, that is perfectly normal, man. Are you aware of what happened earlier this year? Like, the run up that we saw was crazy. Okay, that's the crazy part. This is a completely normal retrace. But however, we have a lot of things going on in the news, a lot of talk about adoption. Not necessarily mass adoption anytime soon. My personal goal, or my personal opinion about the whole mass adoption thing would be like, I think we're still about 10 years out. So you are still early. If you're watching this video, you are still early, and I highly recommend that you continue to watch the Bitcoin price along with other cryptocurrencies and just continue to put $10, $15, $20, $200, whatever you can afford to not worry about for the time being in on every week or every month or whatever plan works best for you. Just continue to put in on your way down, and if you want to continue to pull out, I would suggest the same amount, if not maybe a little bit less if you can afford it, because again, we want this to compound on the money we're putting in. So that's the reason why we're putting money in on the way down, because we want it to become more money on the way up. So the more money you put in, the more money you will get out eventually, but obviously don't put it all in at once. Okay? We buy the dips, buy, and we sell the peaks. So once we do start going up, this is not a clear uptrend, okay? Look at this. This is much more of an uptrend than this that we have right here. So, and look at that, boom, rejection. So there's a good chance, because that's the way the market moves. It moves in steps, okay? So we're most likely going to see a little bit of a little bit more here. I do believe we'll probably follow this line as an average and come right up to about 45, and then we'll get another rejection. And don't be surprised if we come back down to about this line right here. Okay, there's a reason why this line's here. This line is from earlier last year, when I would have drawn that line earlier last year, and it has a lot to do. They always find their way back. Okay, we know that for a fact. Whatever trend line or EMA ribbon you're using, they always find their way back. So that we know, and this is what we're going to keep an eye on. So if you have any questions, let me know, but just keep dollar cost averaging in on the way down, and you will be happy. Whether it's a year from now, things could turn around quick, things could turn around in 2 years, but just don't get scared out of the market. Don't panic sell your stuff. Hold on and continue to accumulate Bitcoin, because we know for a fact that it will break this high, whether it takes a year or it takes 4 years. We know it will break this high, okay? Unless the earth is destroyed by the sun and humans are no longer on this planet, Bitcoin is resilient and will overcome, okay? So trust the coin, trust the idea. If you don't understand the idea, spend some time looking into it, and the more you know about Bitcoin, the more you love it, okay? Just trust me on that one. So that's it for today. Have a good day. Make sure to smile to somebody that you don't know and spread the good vibes, folks. All right. Love ya. Peace out.
Biggs and Boggs.